So then what were you getting in trouble with that led up to you going to jail the first time?
I think I want to say mostly stealing cars, stealing some more cars, getting caught.
That was the thing at the time?
Yeah, stealing cars. Like how I was popular now in 1988 amongst the 12-year-olds to 17, that was popular too. So I don't never think it's a generation that's actually not popular.
Yeah.
But after you go to juvenile so many times, at a certain point, you know, you're gonna have to pay for it. I got caught selling rocks. It was less than an ounce, less than a half ounce. You know, I wasn't a big dope dealer. It was just like, you get $100 extra. Let me go buy me a 8-ball, chop it down. I can make 175, 200. You know, to try to get up to my 500 to 1,000, just keep going because everybody's doing it.
It's so new at that time.
And it was like the money that was coming in, like, man, this is better than the job.
Right.
But as a youth, you don't understand that, you know, you're gonna have to pay for this if you do get caught, and if you keep getting caught mixed with doing other crimes, you can't do this forever. You're not gonna get away forever. So at a certain point, I had to pay the price for it. And you know, a lot of youth, that's how we learn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, take this serious. You could play with fire if you want to, but boy, keep your hand in there. You're gonna feel the pain. You're gonna feel the burn. You're gonna get burnt.
How long were you locked up for?
Just a year.
Okay.
But within that year, it was a place called Log Cabin Ranch. And it's not actually a jail facility. It's a dorm.
Uh-huh.
And then they have bungalows for school. They have a rec hall. They got the football field, the swimming pool. So basically the basketball, it was almost like, it was jail, but it was like training damn near. It was like, well, I guess it was prepping me to be comfortable in jail. I could say that. Because once you leave Log Cabin Ranch, you go to California Youth Authority. And that's the real lockup. That's the gladiator school. But while I was there, they had music videos playing, and they kept playing Public Enemy, NWA, DOC, Eazy-E. You know, Eazy-E and Ice Cube fell out, you know, all that. So watching that from this lockup facility was, when I get out, I want to be like, damn.
I bet they don't play a lot of rap videos for the prisoners these days.
I think for the phones, they got it anyway.
Okay, yeah, well, definitely true.
But
They don't have to.
I don't think. Well, you know what? I did see on Instagram in some jails they do have the music videos playing.
Okay.
Yep,
well, they just don't play music videos on TV anymore. So, and I would assume the jail at a certain point is going to figure out, like, oh, if we play "fuck the police" around the prisoners, that's not going to be good for their behavior.
Good for business. Yeah.
Okay, but so do you feel like, how much did jail change you? Like, people always have stories about how it kind of turned them out and got them doing crazier stuff. It's basically you're just learning different crimes from all these different fucked up kids in that area, right?
I think, of course, that conversation was there. It was available for future crimes when you get out and how to be better, you know. But for me, I think seeing them rappers on TV with the big chains and LL Cool J and them, and, you know, these rappers that we celebrate now, you know, to us youth, seeing that this is a new genre, this is the new thing, and I wanted that. I think I wanted that more than meeting my first Mexican plug, and now I got kilos in the hood. Because a lot of stories, once you go to juvenile, you get to hear. Then, of course, jail, you hear it more. If you didn't see it on the streets, you definitely hear it there, of how people was able to get a plug, and now that's why they hood balling. Your uncle been balling all these years because he got a plug, not because y'all actually, you know, really was making motion. No, you had the plug to make motion. But when you see other guys up, sometimes you don't know they getting fronted to pack. It's not actually they pack.
Right.
You know, even on Instagram, a lot of dudes flexing money. Yeah, that it look good, but that's the plug money. You got to turn that in, you know. So I didn't want to be a middleman. I didn't want to have to work for nobody, and I knew I didn't have no plug. And that, I think, seeing Scarface, watching Scarface movie, and you know, these different movies that impact you to make you want to be a big dope dealer. Like the bad guy, he got the dope, he got the guns, he got the girls, you know. But for my young mind, it was like, shit, I want the money. I want to be like Eazy-E. He owned the record label.
Right.
Then I watched Ice Cube spin off. Now he got his own got it, lynch mob, but I'm seeing these dudes going into executive positions. Suge Knight going from bodyguard to CEO. I need in on that. E40, dope boy, go to college, come back from college, start a record label, CEO, he the artist, and he the executive producer. Watching that, it jumped into me. Like, I could definitely say I didn't want the big dope dealer stripes because it just looked like that's a harder thing for me,
That's really good that you had that intuition. 'Cause
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of kids have
Yeah.
the examples of how to succeed legally right in front of them, and they're kind of like, nah, I'm going to just try to trap instead.
Well, trapping is more easier because the hood, most of the hood that you grew up, if you grew up in the hood, you see those who got that motion, and even if they go to jail or some of the crew die or whatever, you always seen them have a consistency of having some type of money, a car, the jewelry, some actual money, maybe the apartment or a better house or 2 apartments, they children clothes is nice, or his girl got her car, she got a hair shop, but everybody know they working together, and so that concept is always there. But when you start seeing black men successful from something else that don't have nothing to actually do with going to jail or crime, that do feel better, but it looks harder because it take your drive, your talent, and determination.
Right.
And that impacted me, like I say, the E40s, the Too Short, the Rappin' Forte, the Eazy-E, the Dr. Dre, the DOC, the Suge Knight, to see this and to actually be here, the Ice Cube spinning off. Now he got movies and different things. Like, whoa, your ideas is the money. Money, not the money. Your idea is the money.
Right.
So I took that, man, and that's how I've been running this for the 30-year run. Same blueprint. You got to start with something that you own that give you a guaranteed way to either sell your intellectual property or license it. But if you don't own nothing, then you're not entitled to nothing that's coming your way unless you're just looking for someone to discover you, or I want to get a big check, I want a big deal. But what do you own?
Right.
For that?
So you get out of jail, and how do you continue to work on your music career? Because you're still pretty young, right?
Okay, yep. I got out. I was 16. No, I was 17. I got locked up when I turned 16. When I got out, I turned 17, and then a few days later I got out, and then I said, man, I'm gonna be a rap artist, or I'm gonna be, I'm on a record label. Of course, I didn't have no deal. I had no knowledge except what I'm seeing, what I'm listening to. And I gotta say something about Rap A Lot Records too, because them Ghetto Boys tapes made me feel some kind of way too. Yeah, shout out to Scarface and them. But 91 was the year to figure out how to be an artist. What do artists do? You need a record label, you need a manager, you need a studio, you need an engineer. These are the next phases of my desire, learning these proper steps so I could be independent. I didn't know that was the goal, that I would say that I would be saying so much independent, I'm gonna do it on my own. Because I actually wanted a label to sign me. I actually wanted a manager to help me and sign me.
And at that time, it was like basically impossible to be successful as a rapper if you didn't have a label, right?
Yeah, and two, it's not many examples. It's not many.
Got to get on the radio, got to get your records in stores. You're just not going to be able to pull it off yourself unless you're Master P, but that scenario didn't unfold until like much later.
Yes. I would say this though. For the Bay Area, Too Short was an example, but he got to deal with Jive very quick. Okay, so we didn't see him on no corner no more pressing tape, so that's out the way. But who came after that was the Mac Dre, Young Black Brother records. Shout out to Kyrie and them. They started the manufacturing of your own tape to put it out. I got to give credit to Hugh EMC from Filmo. I got to give credit to Cool Nut and IMP Records out of Lakeview and Frisco, because they actually had a movement because they were printing their tapes up. So whoever had the information of, hey, if you can't get a record deal, you actually had to print up your own tapes, and then you got to take them to the record store. The record store not looking for you. You had to present to the record store, your posters, your flyers. You have to make yourself available to come and sit in this store when customers come in to help promote your record. So these was the steps necessary to even get yourself going. But if you never saw this before, then how would you even have that same desire? All you know is, I'm gonna make a demo, I'm sending it to Def Jam, I'm sending it to Universal, I'm sending it to Priority Records, and then I'm hoping for a phone call back. That was a method. Like you say, or like P. Diddy say, yeah, I was working for LaFace and going through these demos, and I found this girl named Mary J. Blige. And, you know, I called her, and next thing you know, is history.
Right.
But for us, when we found out, man, you could send your tape in, you ain't the only one. It's 1,000 other people taped and landed this week too.
Right.
So you actually in a pile of cassette tapes, and there was no email back then. You know, there was the pagers, and you had a house phone. You didn't have no cell phone. So you had to put your actual address, you had to put your pager number, and you had to put your phone number, and then hopefully you can get the call back. So what E40 and them had done, they created motion by you had to print your own stuff up, and then I got a hold to that knowledge in 1992. In 92, when I got that knowledge, shout out to Black C from RBL Posse. They came out with a tape at the end of 91, early 92, Don't Give Me No Bammer Weed, blew up. They actually was from across town in Hunters Point. I'm from Fillmore, but we had squashed the beef between our neighborhoods that was fighting, and I happened to be part of that meeting in Black Sea, so we became friends from that. So we ended up doing a song called Frisco Niggas Ain't No Punks in 92, and from doing that right there, his information to me opened up the doorway when he said, Jay, if you want to print your tape, go down to Music Annex and you can manufacture your own cassette tapes.
Was that the common perception at the time, that if you were from Frisco, you were a punk?
Kind of like, because the gay community in the whole America, the first popular gay community was San Francisco.
Whenever people want to diss Atlanta, they always bring that up now.
But they used to do it to us first. What Snoop Dogg say? Some Mike, he acting like a Frisco dyke.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Why he did us so dirty on a popular song that we love.
It's tough to overcome that,
Yeah, man, that right there, bro. But think about it.
I remember being a kid and thinking, like, what the fuck is a Frisco dyke?
Frisco dyke.
I didn't know what a dyke was, and I didn't know what Frisco was.
But that was so devastating to us, because while he dissing Eazy-E, he threw us in there. So whatever Atlanta going through about the little dissing, we got hit first. We got hit first.
That's hilarious.